and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global TV. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson, and I'm the news info. President Bola Tinubu approved the Renewed Hope Infrastructure Development Fund to bridge the country's $25 billion per annum infrastructure funding gap. The new initiative will be domiciled in the presidency. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, told journalists after Federal Executive Council meeting at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Idris said the fund became necessary given Nigeria's current infrastructure gap, requiring $878 billion to bridge between 2016 and 2040. There is a study that was made that said Nigeria will require about $878 billion between 2016 and 2040 to bridge its infrastructural deficit. The federal government has hailed foreign service officers for launching the Academy of International Affairs. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated that the Academy has the potential to make improvements in the management of Nigeria's foreign policy. Shettima, who spoke at the inauguration of the Academy in Abuja, added that it emerged at a period when it was needed most. Shettima told the foreign service officers that Nigeria needed their input in addressing some of the challenges it is facing. The federal government has concluded plans to train some newly recruited personnel of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory as a school safety protection squad to halt cases of adoption of school children from their schools. The commander of the National Safe Schools Response Coordination Center of the NSCDC, Ahmed Abadon, disclosed this just as the Defense Headquarters said troops rescued 137 adopted pupils of the LEA Primary School and the Government Secondary School Kuriga in the Chukum local government area, Kaduna, within Zamfara State. This came as President Bola Tinubu welcomed the news of the release of the Kuriga school children as well as the release of pupils of the Sangaya School in Sokoto State, commending all the parties involved in the fit for their valiant effort. The federal government has said that no ransom was paid to free the pupils who were adopted from Kuruga village in Kaduna State. This was revealed by Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, during the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting, presided by President Bola Tinubu at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. The minister applauded President Tinubu, the National Security Advisor, NSA, the service chiefs, and everyone else who made a significant contribution to the kids' release. The minister added that President Tinubu has directed security services to step up their efforts to put an end to nationwide kidnapping crisis. Leprosy Mission Nigeria, TWMN, in an effort to provide sustainable psychological support and referral service to communities experiencing distress, have commissioned a toll-free call center to address the crucial need for accessible mental health services. Fauzia Lukman reports.
In an event that sees the network of support from all stakeholders in the disability community, the Leprosy Mission Nigeria commissions a call center to assess critical needs to mental services for persons with disabilities in psychological distress. While commissioning the center, the Senior Special Advisor to the President on Special Needs and Equal Opportunities, Honorable Muhammad Abba Isa, says the center represents a beacon of hope to individuals often marginalized and overlooked.
The establishment of this call center represents a beacon of hope for those often find themselves marginalized and overlooked. It is a testament to our commitment to ensuring that every citizen, regardless of their background or circumstance, has access to the support and resources they need to take. But today we say no more. Today we take a stand against stigma and discrimination. We affirm our belief in the inherent dignity and worth of every human being. And we declare our unwavering commitment to building a society where everyone has the opportunity to live a life of dignity and fulfillment.
The Leprosy Mission Nigeria TLMN National Director, Dr. Sunday Udo, speaks on the crucial aspect of overall well-being as other stakeholders appreciate the inclusivity.
As we all know, mental health is a crucial aspect of overall well-being. It is a facet of healthcare that unjustly receives less attention than it deserves in this country. In fact, globally, but worse in Nigeria, particularly when it comes to those with disabilities. Combating the stigma and discrimination associated with mental health has been an ongoing battle, and today we stand strong to fight that fight.
In the NTDs, we know the importance of mental health, and that is the more reason why we are developing or reviewing our NTD master plan. Mental health was captured and incorporated. I want to assure you that the NTDs program will collaborate effectively with you and support you all the way. Thank you and God bless you.
Today is a great day to be a person with disabilities because the journey of 1,000 miles has just commenced. What do I mean and why are we here? For the first time in the history of the disability community, we have a hotline, that's what I choose to call it, a hotline where we can call in and have our well-being, our mental issues, because you see, one of the major issues of disabilities that is not addressed in this country is the post-traumatic stress disorder of disabilities, especially for those of us who acquired disabilities, who were not born with a disability. Now we have a number 0800 005060 that you can call and then have some level of a high level of interaction that can tell you what the challenge you're facing is, how you can navigate through this challenge, and what the future can hold for you with that challenge.
Psychological distress knows no boundaries as it affects anyone regardless of age, gender, or socio-economic status. Fawzia Lukman, Global TV News.
Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno has approved the appointment of 168 assistants and 104 board members of the 15 agencies and commissions of the state. This is contained in a statement issued by the Secretary to the Borno State Government, SSG Alhaji Bukar Tijani, in Maiduguri. He said the appointees comprised of 9 senior technical assistants, STA, 81 senior special assistants, SSAs, and 78 special assistants, SAs. The SSG also listed 104 others as chairmen and board members of 15 agencies and commissions. The appointments, the SSG said, was done based on power conferred on the governor by the provisions of Section 208, subsection 2D of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. You're watching Midday News coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When Midday News returns, federal government files tax evasion charges against Binance. These and other more stories coming right after this break. Do stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcasts of Midday News. Thank you for staying with us. Over now to our foreign deck. Supporters of opposition candidate Bassirou Diomaye Faye has rallied in the streets to rejoice over their candidate's early victories in Senegal's presidential election. Faye's victory is coming just a week after his release from prison, but has his main rival from the ruling coalition insisted that a second round will be necessary to ascertain the winner. The winner will have to steer Senegal, viewed as a beacon of democracy in cool-hit West Africa, out of 3 years of turbulence and a political crisis, and manage revenues from oil and gas reserves that are shortly to start production. Uncertainty remains over the outcome of the unprecedented vote, with official result not expected before the end of the week. An absolute majority is required for a first-round win. The Francis Scott Key Bridge in the U.S. city of Baltimore collapsed after a ship collided with it, the Maryland Transportation Authority said. 1695 Bridge collapsed due to ship strike, the MTA posted on social media platform X, referring to Interstate Highway. It urged drivers to avoid the route over the Patapsco River, which is called an active scene. Earlier, the MTA had said interstate lines in both directions were closed due to an incident on the bridge and that traffic was being redirected. A police spokesperson from the Baltimore Police Department said that people were possibly in the river. Florida State Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill that will prohibit children younger than 14 from joining social media in the state. According to the report, those who are 14 or 15 will need a parent's consent before they join a platform. The bill, HB 3, also directs social media companies to delete the existing accounts of those who are under 14 years. Companies that fail to do so could be sued on behalf of the child who creates an account on the platform. The minor could be awarded up to $10,000 in damages, according to the bill. The French Interior Minister has launched multiple anti-drug crackdowns, reflecting the government's commitment to show it's serious about tackling the drug trade and crime in cities ahead of European elections. The French Interior Minister announced multiple nationwide anti-drug crackdowns, reflecting the government's commitment to show it's serious about tackling the drug trade and crime in cities ahead of European elections. Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin said that police units conducted raids and made several arrests in the northern city of Lille. He said that authorities are going to multiply the operations that will have prepared for months to hit very hard. Over now to business, the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment has directed applicants of the Presidential Conditional Grant Scheme to submit their national identification numbers as part of necessary requirements to obtain a grant earmarked to cushion the effort that recent economic reforms have had on businesses in the country. The government, through the Bank of Industry, has said it will be disbursing 3 categories of funding totaling 200 billion naira to support manufacturers and businesses across the country. It said the new rule was based on the new regulations from the Central Bank of Nigeria, directing Nigerians to link their national identification numbers with their bank accounts. He added that only verified applicants will receive this notification, and NIMs must match the applicant's name for the process to proceed. The Central Bank of Nigeria has disclosed that it will be allocating $10,000 to each Bureau de Change operators at 1,251 naira to $1. This was contained in a circular made available and signed by the bank's Director, Trade and Exchange Department, Dr. Hassan Mahmood. The Apex Bank directed each BDC to sell the dollars to eligible customers at a rate not exceeding 1.5% above the purchase price, implying the BDCs are not expected to sell above 1,269 naira to $1. On July 27, 2021, the CBN discontinued the sale of foreign exchange to BDCs, accusing them of trading FX wholesales amount greater than $5,000 in contravention of licenses and Nigerians' FX regulations. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria revealed that it is proposing a memorandum of understanding with the United Kingdom's Financial Reporting Council that will allow its members to obtain audit qualification rights in the UK. In a statement, the ICANN said that the move was premised on the fact that accounting and audit practices have become global. If the proposed MOU between ICANN and FRC is signed, ICANN members can engage in an audit in the UK. The idea was mooted during a visit to the UK Financial Reporting Council led by ICANN President Dr. Innocent Owosa as part of activities for the 11th ICANN UK International Conference. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps Commandant General's Special Intelligence Squad has uncovered a massive illegal oil refinery site at a forest in Odowu community, Eche local government area of Rivers State. The site comprises over 10 legal refineries with an estimated 500,000 liters of crude oil contained in about 50 illegally constructed reservoirs. While 5 suspects engaging in the illicit act were arrested, the The spokesman of the NSCDC River State Command, Olufemi Ayodele, disclosed this while parading the suspects and conducted newsmen around the site. The Federal Executive Council has approved the institutionalization of 10% youth quota in all government appointments in an equitable young women representation. Dr. Jamila Ibrahim, Minister of Youth, disclosed this at the end of the 4th FEC meeting in Abuja. She said the Council has approved the reconstruction of the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund and the revamping of Youth Investment Fund. Kike Lomo Okere has the details.
The Minister of Youth says the quota will encourage young people to participate in decision-making process and in civic engagement.
We have received Council's approval to institutionalize a 30% youth quota, a 30% representation of young people in all government appointments, and an equitable young women representation inclusive of this 30%. Well, this will go a long way to address the long marginalization and exclusion of young people in decision-making, and will also go a long way to encourage young people to participate in decision-making processes and in civic engagements. This will in turn lead to young people contributing tremendously to national development.
Meanwhile, FEC has approved the setting up of infrastructure fund to be known as Renewed Hope Infrastructure Fund. This followed a projection that Nigeria will require over $878 billion to bridge infrastructure deficit in the country.
Wisdom of Mr. President and magnanimity, so to say, of the Council that they've approved the establishment of Renew Hope Infrastructure Fund as the catalyst to actually drive our infrastructure agenda. So this innovative fund consolidates existing resources to drive economic growth and connectivity across sectors like transport, agriculture, aviation, and education and other social.
The Federal Executive Council also approved the construction of 28 roads and bridges across the country worth over 1.2 trillion naira. The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, says the projects were approved by FEC, having gone through the Bureau of Public Procurement and Certificate of No Objection secured. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
The federal government confirmed the outbreak of ginger blight epidemic in 4 states in Nigeria, adding that ginger farmers have lost over 12 billion naira due to the disease. It is disclosed that at the inauguration of the National Ginger Blight Epidemic Control Task Force in Abuja, and revealed that the fungal disease had inflicted significant damage on ginger farms in Kaduna, Nasarawa Plateau, and the Federal Capital Territory. The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Abdullahi, said the blight had caused billions of naira in losses, impacting not only the livelihoods of farmers, but also Nigeria's position as the world's second largest ginger producer. The federal government has deducted over 415 billion naira from state government allocations to service the external loans. This was according to data from the Federation Account Allocation Committee disbursement reports published by the National Bureau of Statistics. Reductions were made between 2019 and 2023 from the allocations given to state governments from the federal account. The Federation account is currently being managed under a legal framework that allows funds to be shared under 3 major components: statutory allocations, value-added tax distribution, and derivation principle. The federal government has donated truckloads of grain to Kano State government to distribution to the needy. The nation consists of 100 trucks of rice, 44 trucks of sorghum, and 4 trucks of maize. Donation arrived just as the state government said it has begun an investigation into its ongoing Ramadan feeding program in the state. The State Director General Media and Publicity, Sanusi Tofa, disclosed this to journalists in Kano. He said Dangote Foundation also supported the state with 120,000 10 kg bags of rice. Minister of Sports David Umahi has mandated the redesign of the Onitsha bypass of the second Niger Bridge due to flaws and overestimation in the initial design. He said the dumping of the initial design has saved the nation 300 billion naira. This is as the minister directed contractors working on federal road projects in the southeast and south-south regions to accelerate work while ensuring compliance with contract specifications. In a statement by his media advisor, Uchenna Orji, the minister discovered the defective design of the second Niger Bridge bypass on March 24th. While on an inspection visit to the rehabilitation of Enugu-Port Harcourt Dual Carriageway section, IV Aba-Port Harcourt, undertaken by China's Civil Engineering Construction Corporation Limited, CCECC. The federal government contracted the International Criminal Police Organization and issued an arrest warrant for the apprehension of one of the detained executives of a global cryptocurrency firm, Benes Nadim Ajawale, who escaped from lawful custody. It was also gathered from the Office of the National Security Advisor that Ajawale is a suspect and probe into activities of Benes in Nigeria, used a Kenyan passport to escape, while his colleagues were still in custody. The escapee, Benes official, who has British and Kenyan nationalities, escaped from Abuja through Middle East airliner, as his firm in Nigeria confirmed that Ajawala was no longer in the country, adding that the company would cooperate with security agencies. The federal government has initiated proceedings against Benas, a prominent cryptocurrency exchange platform, of a tax invasion. The charges was filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja by the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, implicated Benas with 4 tax invasion accusations, adding that it was a decisive move aimed at upholding fiscal responsibility and safeguarding the economic integrity of the country. The charges levied against Benas include non-payment of value-added tax, company income tax, failure to file tax returns, and complicity in aiding customers to evade taxes through its platform. In the suit, federal government also accused Benas of failure to register with FIRS for tax purposes and contravention existing tax regulations within the country. Over now to entertainment, veteran Nollywood actor Amechi Monaghan has died after a prolonged illness at the age of 62. Monaghan was said to have suffered kidney failure and was on dialysis. The sudden news of his demise comes just a few days after a viral video where he solicited funds to help him have a kidney transplant. He was an actor and producer in 2016. He was nominated for AMVCA 2017 Best Actor in a Comedy. His death comes weeks after that of his famous colleague, John Okafor, known as Mr. Ibu. In sports, 4 members of the Nigerian Mixed Martial Arts Federation, NMMAF, returned home to a hero's welcome after competing in the 13th African Games held in Accra, Ghana. The NMMAF board is thrilled to congratulate Team Nigeria on the outstanding performances at the Games. Well, MMA was featured as a demonstration sport. Team Nigeria brought home an impressive haul of 4 medals, 1 gold, 1 silver, and 2 bronze. Blessing Oyeli secured the gold medal, while Martins Aziba claimed the silver. John Obeya and Freddie Destiny each contributed bronze medals to the team's success. Ceylon Sports Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Eno, has declared that the preparations for the 2027 African Games, which will be held in Egypt, will begin immediately as the contingent in the just concluded 13th edition of the Games in Ghana. Team Nigeria arrived in the country's capital, Abuja, and Lagos in batches via chartered flights provided by the Ministry of Sports Development. In Ghana, Team Nigeria had an impressive outing and finished second in the overall medal table, with a total of 121 medals comprising 47 gold, 34 silver, and 40 bronze medals. Although the foreign-based athletes who were part of Nigerian success at the Games have also returned directly to their base, Eno believes a head start ahead of the 2027 Games will give the country an edge in their quest to claim top spot for the first time since hosting the Games in 2003. That's it on Midday News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using a Global TV and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. See you again. Good afternoon.